You might remember the story of Noah and the ark in the Bible, how God instructed Noah to build a big, big boat, an ark, and that he and his family were to move into this ark, and all the creatures, animals, would march in after him two by two. I had a similar Noah's Ark experience. Back in, now I didn't have to build a boat, and I'll tell you the rest of the story, but back in April of 2020, as I was praying and journaling, I started getting sort of like this download from God. It couldn't have been me because I don't really come up with these ideas. And certainly it was, I believe, God's super being infused into my natural. But I started getting these series of thoughts, random thoughts. But as I began to write them down in my journal, and as I continued to pray, words like "get into the ark" came about. And then a series of other thoughts and impressions, such as the idea of moving to Florida and being part of an apostolic and prophetic community and having friends and a community. All of these things, among other things, maybe for a different discussion or blog, but all of these thoughts started coming to me as I wrote them down. Well, when my wife and I moved from Pennsylvania, and the reason we moved was because it was the height of the pandemic. And as a personal trainer, I couldn't find any work. All of the gyms still remained closed. And I put my resume out there in the interwebs, and nothing. I applied for gyms as a personal trainer everywhere from Pennsylvania to Virginia to North Carolina, South Carolina. I mean, nothing was coming up except one response from Florida. And it was from a gym owner, and he requested an interview, which we conducted by Zoom. And next thing I know, I was offered a position in Florida. Little did I know. And that came about June 2020. And so got the offer, packed up my family, which consisted of my wife and our two furry animals, two furry friends, a dog and a cat. And as we moved down, the COVID pandemic kept everything shut down up north where we had moved from. Meanwhile, the state of Florida was one of those states that opened up early, and everything was more or less running or getting back to normal. And sure enough, just about everything that I had written down on that journal response were my thoughts. And then I put down into writing in my journal, everything to this point has come to pass. I think the message I'm trying to communicate in this blog segment is that sometimes God's instructions or divine inspiration go beyond our understanding and even reasoning. I had no idea that I was going to end up in Florida, but back in April of 2020, here was these set of instructions or these impressions, and 2 months later, I'm moving down to Florida. If what I'm sharing with you resonates with you in some fashion, or perhaps you have gotten this set of instructions or strong impressions from God, don't hesitate. Obey quickly. And certainly if you feel like you need to consult some trusted friends, spiritually mature Christians, run it by them, test it against the Word of God. But in my situation, I guess you could say that the download back in April 2020, I was ready for it. I guess you could say that the circumstances in which I was living under and that had led to that point, I guess you could say my soul, my spirit, my entire being was ready. And so when I got that download, it was, what's the right word I'm trying to look for? I didn't hesitate. It was something that I couldn't dispute or contest. I guess I was just ready to obey quickly. And again, if this message is resonating with you or someone watching and listening to this, take courage. I hope you are encouraged by this message, and maybe perhaps it's a confirmation. Until next time, that's about the gist of it as I'm giving it some thought. Talk to you soon.